In today's video, we'd like to show you the best setup process for your Fujifilm X100VI camera within the Edge Pro water housing. This new camera has some great features, not only in the photo specs, but also video. So follow these simple setup tips to get the most out of your camera. Firstly, we would like to highlight that the housing does ship with the suitable lens port for the fixed lens on the Fujifilm X100VI. This is the XF55, and to attach it, you simply need to screw this onto the water housing as shown until firmly secure. Secure the camera plate to the bottom of your camera at the standard tripod mount with a flathead screwdriver. Next, the water housing does feature two electronic shutters, one on the top and one on the bottom. To make these work, you do need to connect the cable release jack to the connection point on your camera. Simply insert the cable release into this port on the right-hand side of your camera and install the camera inside the water housing with the cable release jack facing up, and use the excess cable to place over the top of the camera to stay out of the way as shown. To secure the backplate, simply align the backplate hinges with the water housing pins on the lower portion of the water housing. Close this and secure with the two top safety latches. Now let's customize and configure those camera settings so you can get the most out of your water housing. First up is the power off control. Unfortunately, to wake the Fujifilm camera when it goes into the power off or power saving mode, you need to physically push down on the shutter button, and the cable release and the electronic shutters won't help you. So we suggest turning the auto power off to the off position. Follow these steps. Press menu, head to the wrench icon, then into power management. Auto power off and select off. Next up, we'd like to show you how to control your exposure settings, including ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. The housing allows access to the top shutter speed dial on the back top right dial on the backplate. Simply turn this blue control to change your shutter speed as shown. To control your aperture or ISO from the back top right dial, ensure you have your lens firstly set to A on the aperture ring. You will also need to set your ISO dial to C as shown. Firstly, head to the menu, then down to the wrench icon, then button dial setting. Head to page 2, aperture ring setting, and then select command. Now follow these steps to ensure the back rear dial controls either aperture or ISO. Press menu, head down to the wrench icon, then head into button dial setting. Find command dial setting. From here, you can highlight and choose either aperture or ISO for that back rear dial. Now you can easily swap between aperture or ISO with the same rear command dial. This can all be done when the camera is inside the housing as shown. If you would like to switch between the EVF and LCD, follow these steps, but we found with this camera, due to the small EVF size, shooting with the rear LCD gave us the best performance. Press menu, head down to the wrench icon, then button dial setting. Then head into function or FN setting. Scroll down to the AEL, AFL control. Then head to page 7 and select view mode setting. This allows you to press the AEL or AFL button to switch between viewfinder and LCD. Switching between photo and video modes is simple. You simply press the drive/delete button, then using the toggle and navigating down to the bottom option for movie mode and the top options for your photo mode. If you are planning on shooting video with this camera, you do need to follow these next steps to allow you to be able to start and stop record on the camera. Firstly, press menu, head down to the wrench, and then into the button dial setting. Look for function or FN setting, scroll down to AEL or AFL, then head to page 6 and select movie recording release. Now you can easily start and stop record by pressing the AEL or AFL button on the back of your camera. You can also hit this button and start video recording without having to go into video mode. As you can see here, the camera is in photo mode, and by simply pressing this button, you will automatically switch to video mode and start recording. You can press the same button to stop recording. If you do like to use the Q menu, we suggest that you use the 4 options on the left-hand side column of this screen, as the toggle can only navigate up and down through these 4 options. Position 1 is set by default to your custom preset style and film simulations, but we suggest utilizing the other positions for helpful settings like the built-in ND filter and possibly the other photo or video effects. In our testing, we found that the best setup for this camera was to shoot in auto ISO and maybe to set some of those parameters where you can choose between a value between, let's say, 100 and 400 ISO, and being able to utilize those 2 back dials to control the shutter speed and aperture, and then that quick start-stop record button of the AEL, AFL button to be able to shoot video, but then quickly go back and shoot stills. So there you have it. These are the best setup tips for you to get the most out of your Fujifilm X100VI camera within the Edge Pro water housing. If you have any questions or need any further assistance, please reach out to the trained staff via the website.